A lot of me putting myself out there is not about me trying to say, hey, look at me, hey, look at me. It's about trying to keep the community together. And that's why I'm willing to do it, is because I'm trying to wrap my arms around everybody and keep them in here with me. And for that reason, I feel like this has been a blessing. People have had to get really creative and think of other ways to do things.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. This is Eric LeClaire representing Push Press, and we are continuing our In the Trenches series with a look at leadership, both in leadership style as well as principles and values that guide leadership development at the micro gym level. And it's Friday, and I just love that we are ending the week talking to one of my favorites. I can't imagine anyone out there not knowing anything about Annie Sakamoto, but by all means, for those of you that may be watching or listening and don't know Annie, one of my friends, thank you so much. Let's start where you would like. Let's introduce yourself.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me, Eric. So I got into CrossFit in 2004. I was good friends with Eva Twardokins, and she was one of the coaches at the original CrossFit gym here in Santa Cruz. And, you know, she got me to come into the gym, and she gave me this very kind of mellow by CrossFit definition workout. And I was like, oh, I got this CrossFit thing. I don't know why everybody's so hyped about it. Came back a couple of days later, did a class that Greg and Lauren coached, got my butt completely handed to me. Part of that being 75 glute ham sit-ups all the way down, all the way up. I was a wreck for probably a good week and a half. And then immediately fell in love with it. And I have been doing CrossFit ever since. I've been coaching since 2005. I've owned my own affiliate since 2008, and we actually, the group of us that started that affiliate moved from the original gym, so that was a pretty cool thing. We have a lot of members at our current gym that started at the original gym, so I feel like that's kind of a special thing for our CrossFit. I have competed in the games on a team back when you could just basically show up. I think that was 2009, the year that I did that. I've competed as an individual 2011, 2012, and as a master's athlete 2016, 2017. So I have been pretty much all into CrossFit for a solid 16 years now.
Oh, no, for sure. And I think you've been awarded or the coveted spirit of the games. Is that right?
I was. Yes, thank you.
That was probably one of the best to watch and see from afar. I mean, because now, the games, separate from the affiliate model, is definitely a different piece, but to still see your smile and your energy and your spirit come through, and then, of course, be celebrated. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect to see that. So,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate this time. I mean, to be able to steal a half an hour with you today is going to be fantastic.
My pleasure.
This discussion has taken a bunch of different turns for, I've kind of broken our community into three parts. We've got the original folks that have been around, like you said, 2004, 5, 6, and kind of that transitional phase when it had to become real, right? When all of a sudden, like the word certifications, seminars became certifications then needed to be accredited. And then there's this middle bracket of time where it went from this maybe counterculture creation into this competitive thing, and the games became large. And then now we have these like late individuals that are showing up, 2000, let's say 17, 18, 19, even affiliates still opening today, 2020. But what I've been searching for, and one of the reasons why you're here and were invited, was that there are folks that have been around as long as you, and there has to be a reason for that. And with this podcast being about leadership, I guarantee that you've learned, grown, evolved, matured, developed some sense of leadership, not only just in your own self, in your staff, and of course for your community. So before CrossFit, you were an athlete, right? Or what did you do? How did you stumble into athletics?
So I played a lot of sports growing up, but I was at best a mediocre athlete. I did water polo, swimming and diving, soccer, even a year of basketball, and I was never really good at any sport, but I loved participating in sports. I loved being part of a team. I loved practicing. You know, I loved all of those things. When I ran into Eva and she got me to come in, I was teaching cardio kickboxing. So, and we're talking like aerobics, not like cool kickboxing, but like Billy Blank's aerobics.
Found a picture. I was going to post a picture today of you and Tony. Maybe it was for Halloween. I don't know, but you guys were decked out in like the 1980s aerobics with the spandex, all of it. I have that picture. Maybe.
I remember it. I would love it if you posted it. I have like no shame whatsoever. But so by 2004, when I got introduced into CrossFit, I was definitely getting into fitness. So I was actually always, I was a little heavier set growing up. And again, I liked sports, but I also liked Twinkies, to be totally honest. My mom was part of it. My mom did jazzercise my entire life. But she was a victim of the low fat. Everything is good as long as it's low fat. And so she fed me Twinkies and, hot tamales and all that kind of stuff, thinking, well, it's low fat, so it's okay. So in I think probably ninth grade, I weighed like 136 pounds at 5 feet. That's, and it wasn't all muscle. But by my college years, my early college years, 2004, I was really getting into just being fit and being active. And that's when I got into Eva, and she introduced me to CrossFit, and I immediately fell in love. I had never been so physically challenged. And I really liked it, but with the camaraderie of the community, there was a great community at that early gym, and you were lucky enough to have, come to that early gym. And, we were nobody knew exactly what we were doing other than, and I mean this in the best way, we were kind of these test subjects of Greg to see what the human body was capable of. And the neat thing for a lot of us that were there in those early days, Nicole and Eva and Matt Mast and Mike Weaver and Dave Lees and, Greg Amundsen and all these guys, was that we really pushed each other, but we were all very supportive of each other. So it was a pretty unique atmosphere to be working out in, to be starting all of this in.
So were you able to steal or take any values, like growing up either under Greg or under Lauren, maybe even some coaches from before that you met or kind of along those early years? Did you see any characteristics, personality traits, principles, or values that you're like, I'm going to hold on to these if and when I open up my affiliate or I become a coach? Did you aspire to want to emulate any of that?
Well, it was funny. Greg used to tell all of us that as coaches, that our clients, especially personal clients, they would tell us things that they might not even tell their therapists. And, as a brand new coach, you always kind of laugh that off like, yeah, right. And he said, yeah, like he doesn't know what he's talking about. And he would say, these people will invite you to their weddings, their funerals, their bar mitzvahs. Like, you don't understand the connection and the power that you are going to have with these people. And again, I think a lot of us were looking at the workout side of CrossFit and not fully understanding maybe the full potential of the human connection side of CrossFit and what that all meant. And, Greg was spot on correct. I would say that 50% of what I do is give my clients a good workout, something that makes sense, that is functional and hopefully improves their health, their flexibility, their fitness. But the other 50% of what we do is really about human connection. And he was 100% right. I have clients that tell me things that I guarantee they're not talking about either at home, or if they have a therapist, maybe they're talking about it with their therapist. And it's a pretty incredible position to be in, to know that, that your clients have that kind of trust and connection with you. It's probably the thing that I value the most about being a coach.
That's a super powerful recognition. And I think that's probably one of the unifying factors today, fast forward to this, crushing pandemic that is literally just shut down, frozen in time, the entire community. I believe the stronger the human connection, the stronger or longer, let's say longer, the communities can last being shut down. So we're obviously both in California, we're stuck in this limbo land of, the gyms defined as maybe a phase 3 opening. What have you done personally, either yourself, your staff, the assistant coaches, the other owners, to kind of care for that relationship through this time?
So right when they announced the shelter in place, we posted that we would basically loan out some equipment, and we went for dumbbells and kettlebells mainly just because they're a lot harder to break or ruin, right? So, and I figured that if I was going to post a workout every day, that if people had, a set of dumbbells or a kettlebell, whether it was 50 pounds or 20 pounds or 10 pounds, it would at least open up what I could post as far as the workouts went. So we rolled open the doors. We got as much equipment out of the doors as we could. We even did a couple barbells and things like that here and there. And we emptied out our gym. And it was funny, that first night I went home and I was going to post a workout. I was like, God, I can't believe that I'm just going to post this workout and everybody's going to do it at home. And what is that going to look like? And what is that going to feel like? And then I had this realization of like, when I started CrossFit, that's exactly what it was. Yes, we all did the workout at the gym, but the main site, they posted a workout and people all over the world woke up in the morning. They saw what the workout was. They went on to .com. They did their workout at home, and then they posted their results in the comments section. And I had this epiphany of like, this is just a little throwback. And if Greg and Lauren and the community at large could build CrossFit the way that they did and gain momentum the way that they did in those early days, when really there was only 10 or 15 brick and mortar CrossFits, right? Like buildings, then we can make it through this. I just have to be and I'm not like this, but I just knew that I had to be very active on social media and on posting and just trying to get people to go to our site. Because since I used to help out at the original gym, our website, we post a daily blog. So we post a workout and a photo, and there's, 1 or 2 comments every day, but I have run our site just like the original CrossFit site, which seems kind of silly, but once this all went into place, I was like, this is perfect. This is just a throwback. And so the very first workout that I posted, I found a workout from, March 17th, 2000 and whatever, 8 or something. And I posted that workout for us to do.
Man, I love that. Talk about finding creativity through the opportunity when everyone else is running, screaming fire. You're like, wait a second, let's draw this back down to let's distill it back down to where this came from. Man, that's wonderful. It's so funny. I've not heard anyone think that way. Like we're just returning back to the beginning. I love it. Totally love it. I totally love it. So your coaches bought in on that, obviously, and I bet the clients loved it.
The clients did love it, which was awesome. And I will be honest, the hardest thing for me right now, as an owner, is to keep our coaches kind of included, fired up. And I've reached out to them a couple of times. And so there's been a couple of them who have said, hey, I'd love to do this. I'd love to do that. And then there's been the majority of my coaches who have just kind of fallen off. To be honest, they're just gone silent, which breaks my heart a little bit, because right now I can't offer to pay them to do anything
you guys,
that they want.
Memberships, is that why? Is that what you guys were doing? Did you guys like silence everybody in the gym and then your coaches just kind of backed off by themselves?
So we left it up in the air for people. What we told our clientele was, if you can pay your membership, we would obviously greatly appreciate it.
Right.
If you are in a similar situation that we are in, we understand. And if you can't pay a dime, we still want to loan you our equipment, and we still want you to be doing the workouts, and we still want you to be posting photos and comments and all of that. And then if you are somewhere in between and you can pay half membership or $20 or anything, then we would greatly appreciate that. But we have no expectations. And really, whatever money comes in for us right now is to pay our rent. That is really, we have already taken out a loan, and we're getting a loan from our landlord where basically he's giving us a loan on our rent. Yep. And so we won't have to pay interest, but we will have to eventually pay all of this rent back. So yeah, we're not in a position really where we can pay the coaches. What my hope was and is that the coaches can understand the value in just their presence as far as keeping our community connected. And we have three coaches that are doing an amazing job at that. So I don't do a Zoom workout. What I do is I do a live workout on Instagram every day at 10 a.m. from our gym Instagram account. And it's the same one that I post on the website. So a lot of people could just see what it is on the website, go do it on their own. I have maybe 20 to 30 people that join me on Instagram and do it with me. And I do it with them, and I break it down and we talk about it. And then I have probably another 10 to 20 people that will log on to that live later on in the day when they're done working or doing whatever, and do it with the live, but just not live, which is great. So what I've done is a couple of our coaches we've done like a split screen, and they've done the warm up, or they've done their own workout. They've coached it through our Instagram account, but split screen. And again, the idea just being that the community wants to, they want to see their faces. They want to, reach out and see them and talk to them. And so there has been a few of those coaches that understand the value in that, and which is great. And others that, have kind of just disappeared. And I understand that too. I'll be honest, Eric, I'm really trying my hardest to pass no judgment on what anybody decides to do right now, because we have never experienced anything like this. And so everybody is going to react differently,
Totally. And in reality, we don't necessarily know. We might know them, or we might have an idea of what's going on, but we don't really know. We don't know their financials. We don't know their relationships. We don't know their situations. And so if they just say, hey, look, I gotta step out for a couple of weeks and just get my stuff squared away, hey, it's kind of a no harm, no foul. But you're lucky that you've got those 2 or 3 that resonate well enough with the clientele, and they're like, I'll help out. Let me help out. Like, whatever. That's huge. That's totally
because
huge.
You realize, as much as the community wants to work out, again, 50% of what they want to do is just stay connected to each other. And that's actually, that is CrossFit, right? It's like you go to the gym to get the workout, but you also go because you want to see Eric, and you want to see Annie, and you want to check in with them. Oh yeah, and Eric had that baby, and how's she doing? And, that's 50% of it. And so the more we can stay connected, seeing each other's faces, posting comments, the better everybody feels about what they're doing.
Yeah, you're still providing service. You're still providing, we say purpose, motivation, direction. You're also maintaining that at least, face to face, where we can smile, we can laugh, we can make jokes. That genuine and authentic connection is, I would agree, 50%, or for some clients, even more. How many folks walk in, they're like, I just want to kind of do some mobility today, but I want to hang out. I want to be here. I want to be around the spirit. I want to be around the people. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And that's just it. Like, I think, who knows what they're doing on the other side of the screen, because again, I'm not doing Zoom, I am doing live, but a lot of them are commenting. And so that just shows me they want to be there, whether they're lifting a 5-pound dumbbell, they're sitting there eating donuts and watching me do the workout.
Yep.
Right, or they're pushing really hard. They're there, and that's, yeah, even more than 50% of it, right? They want to stay connected with each other. So it's really good.
This is the first time one of our guests has shared that they're doing live versions versus Zoom versions. So this will be great for folks to kind of think through this, because we're not at a spot state by state by state where everyone's open. People have to continue producing some kind of content for however much longer. I don't know. Like I said before, we're both in California, and who knows what this is like. Is this going to be a May thing, a June thing, a God forbid September thing? So thinking through that, have you had a discussion with your coaches about what does returning to business look like if Newsom says, hey, May 15th, you guys can open at whatever the restrictions are? Have you guys discussed anything about, let's say, maintaining that digital experience? Or would you guys just can the digital experience and then just go right back into the inside?
It's funny. I've talked a little bit about it with my partner, with Helene. And it's hard because right now it sounds like you said, this could easily be July for us in California. But my first reaction is like, why would I keep the live going? Like, that's it, we're back in the gym. But something that's pretty amazing that has happened is we have one girl from Delaware that comes at least 3 times a week to the live, another girl from Oklahoma, and one girl from Brazil, and who just asked me today, she said, what's going to happen when the gyms reopen? Are you going to still be doing this live? And I am, and the other thing is we have a couple people that have shown up on the live that were members of our gym that haven't been in the gym for a year or 2 or 3 for numerous reasons. Right. And they're back on the live probably 4 to 5 times a week. Awesome. And between us, I think a lot of it is that some people thrive off of being in the gym and being pushed by everybody else. And some people just want to pick up the 5-pound dumbbells and not feel funny about it. But it's really hard to do that for their own personal reasons. Yeah, in the gym. And so all of a sudden I have about 3 or 4 other people that have kind of come back, returned to our community. And I think a lot of it is because there's no eyes on them, that they can see and they're communicating, but there's no real eyes on them, and they can do whatever they want really and get the workout that they feel is appropriate without feeling like they have to do more. And, we know that you never have to do more, but some people, they just can't let go of that once they're in the gym. So in that sense, it's been really cool too.
No, I agree. I totally agree. I mean, even if the digital experience continues on for 15 days, 30 days, or you just package it up and say, yeah, we're going to continue it, but it's going to come at a price point of $15, or whatever. And then maybe you some of those other coaches out to do it or participate. You never know. But folks have been very creative. I've been really impressed to see what different gyms around the country, let alone around the world, have started to create to draw that connection closer while folks are, stuck at home, obviously.
And for that reason, I think we have to look at the silver linings and think we were all forced to really get creative here. Most of us were pretty comfortable with the way things were doing. I know that's how our gym was. I know that's how I was. And we had to get a little creative. And again, I was not for a long time very comfortable with putting myself out there on Instagram and social media. And I've told my clients the same thing. I said, a lot of me putting myself out there is not about me trying to say, hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. It's about trying to keep the community together. And that's why I'm willing to do it, is because I'm trying to wrap my arms around everybody and keep them in here with me. And for that reason, I feel like this has been a blessing. People have had to get really creative and think of other ways to do things. And I've been a guest on a couple of different classes and workouts, and I've seen other guests do things and challenges. And I think it's actually been great for a lot of the, I feel bad for a lot of the affiliates that are closing. But for the ones that got creative and are staying creative, I think it's incredible.
Well, in that same vein, if you had a chance, I mean, this platform has been fantastic for us to share, even though we're new. I mean, none of us have done this before. None of us have had to go through this and have been successful. So no one has the right answer. But yet here we are, 2.5, maybe 3 months in. And yes, we are seeing folks shut down permanently, forced to pivot hardcore. And, some people, as I'm sure you did, sunk so much time and money and effort and resource into their gym, and to shut it down, we saw individuals posting on social media, hey, Monday we're closing, come buy all of our gear, right? It's all for sale. And that breaks my heart. So if you were to be able to kind of leverage this platform and leverage this channel and speak to maybe someone who's on that fence, they're on the line, they're uncertain, any words of wisdom from the Spirit of the Games winner? Any thoughts or reflections on what you could share with them?
Well, again, I think that the unique thing of CrossFit is the community, right? The workout is different, but let's face it, at this point, you could go to Orange Theory. There's a lot of places you can go and get your HIIT workout. And so what makes CrossFit unique is the community. And so I think when we're, as affiliate owners, thinking about how am I going to keep my business going, we really need to be thinking about how am I going to keep my community engaged? How am I going to keep them around? Because again, whether they're going to pay $5 a month, $150 a month, we have some clients that have paid full membership for Instagram Live and a set of dumbbells, and they're still paying $175 a month and saying we see full value in this. And I think that is because myself and my business partner and a couple of these trainers have been working so hard to keep the community connected, and that is what it's all about. And so the other thing we did that was really helpful and really exciting for our gym is we ran the 800 gram challenge. So I don't know if the Optimized Nutrition, EC Sinkowski, and we were going to run it anyways in April. And then this all happened and we said, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't run it. And then I was talking to one of our trainers who does all the nutrition. And I said, you know what, Kelly, this is actually the perfect time to do it. People have extra time right now. They're all at home. Most of them are all at home, and it's something to focus your energy on. And it's going to get people to focus on eating healthy instead of, it's really easy to just go, oh my God, woe is me. I'm stuck at home. I better just go eat all the chips. And we have over 30 people join the challenge, and, at least 25 of them complete it. And people posting on Instagram. I was posting pictures on the site. They were posting pictures on the WODRise app, and it was incredible. And again, people felt better. They were excited to do it. They were sharing recipes. So any things like that.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a way to maintain and improve engagement. So you've got that box checked. They're trudging towards something as a common goal in the community. Obviously, you've gamified it. Right, so people are like checking in and if you post or whatever to earn their points or whatever they're doing. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. I love hearing that folks you're going above and beyond. I mean, aren't very many gyms that are doing as many or have as many layers as you've already spoken to. So I'm blown away. I love it. I love hearing those things. I hope for us selfishly, for the California community, that this is, as soon as possible, return to business as usual. I'm very fearful, though, that we will be one of the last states. So, there's a thought there of how long can you maintain this and how can you keep reinventing that engagement, let's say every 2 to 4 weeks. But I think if you've made it this far, I think I would stay engaged. I mean, if you were my gym, there'd be no reason why I wouldn't at all.
Right. And I think, again, whatever the challenge may be, a mobility challenge, one burpee for every number of the day of the month, just little challenges. There's so many things that, for me, when I'm at the gym, an hour is never enough. There's so many things that you want to do and talk about and get people excited on, and they come in for that hour and you're like, oh, there were so many things. Well, now is the perfect opportunity to take those little things that you've been thinking about, nutrition, mobility, whatever it is, a push-up challenge, and utilize those to keep
I love it. No, I love it. This is you're just so full of energy. I can't imagine people wanting to stay engaged. No, I mean, this is a chance. You figure right now, most folks are stuck at home. They're either on the phone, on the laptop, on the tablet. They're watching the smart TV. This is the chance to get in front of them and communicate and support and educate. I mean, this is I mean, everyone's got the phones, so everyone's on the tablets. Might as well. This is a perfect. Hey, for those folks that may want to find you, or they may want to check in, they want to see what this live looks like. How can they find you? Where can they find you?
Awesome. So I do the live every day from our Instagram account, and that is at CrossFit SC Central. So a double C right there, SC Central. That's our handle. And anybody and everybody is welcome. I run a live every day except for Sunday. Every other Sunday, we have a guy, Josh, that often runs a workout, but otherwise I'm there every single day. And we also, again, we post a workout on our website, www.crossfitsantacruzcentral.com. We post a workout. Anybody is welcome to do it. It usually involves a kettlebell or a dumbbell, but I always give options on the live of, doing it with a broomstick or a backpack or a sack of dog food. And I would love it. I mean, one of the most exciting things to me is that we have these people from Oklahoma and Delaware and Brazil and, communities. They don't be right here in Santa Cruz.
I love it. I totally love it. The fact that it's open to more than just your clientele is so inviting. And even if folks are just lurkers, they're just kind of like, they're watching, not quite sure about what's going on. Like I
love me a lurker.
Love it. I totally love it. Well, Annie, for the show today, this has been fantastic. I sincerely appreciate not only your time, but your energy, your enthusiasm. This has been a great way to end the week.